Go to tertiary education now and focus on that for a bit. The South African Students' Congress has vowed to make tertiary institutions ungovernable. Now that's if students who can't pay for registration fees are turned away this year. Some students haven't been allowed to register as NSFAS allegedly did not settle their outstanding university bills. Well, Sasco says it is unacceptable that underprivileged students are being deprived of an education. Sasco's Deputy President Luyanda Tenge joining us from our Durban studios this morning. Luyanda, a very good morning to you. Thanks for your time. Just give us a bit more detail about the actual issue. What is the situation that some students find themselves in at the moment?
Okay. Good morning to everyone, listeners and the students in particular. Good morning to you as well. The South African Student Congress, indeed, you are correct, has vowed that there is no university that is going to operate if a black child is denied access to that particular university, be it it's a college, be it it's a TVET college, be it it's a university. We are calling our structures that particular college or university, if it denies students an access, it must not operate. Because the main reason why these universities and TVET colleges are existing is because they must serve these students, especially the poor child of the working class.
But Luyanda, I just want to find out, I mean, this is, from what I understand, an issue coming from the side of NSFAS, not settling those bills. So why not take your fight to NSFAS itself instead of planning to close down the actual institutions and delay the start of the academic year for these students?
Yes. Look, for example, we had closed down UNISA nationally. We closed down not because of only registration, but because of other issues that are at the hands and the helm of the management. But we are also aware that the issue of registration is within NSFAS, and NSFAS as of yet, they have not yet communicated, in particular with the new students, in relation to the fact that they have accepted them so that they can be able to register in these universities. As I'm speaking here with you today, University of South Africa did not start the registration because of those particular issues. Other universities, for example, University of Fort Hare is going to start the registration next week on Monday, and we are going to monitor the process. We are going to check whether students are being denied an access to register. Because remember, we are enjoying free education in South Africa. And with that free education, we thought that university managers and university council, they are going to have an appreciation of the fact that we have free education. And the delays at NSFAS, they must not make these university managers to think that they are going to stop students from registering. Because we are very clear, because also on the issue of NSFAS, you are correct when you say we must also direct our fight to NSFAS. It is going to be directed to NSFAS, and we have a meeting that we have scheduled with NSFAS, and we know that universities at some point they are going to be impatient. That's why some of them, they are going to block students from registering. But we're going to address those issues. We are having a meeting with NSFAS, and NSFAS must tell us why they are delaying students, why up until now, students have not yet received a confirmation that is telling that they are going to be funded by NSFAS. But be it as it may, we don't mind that. But the point that we mind a lot is the fact that the universities must have an appreciation that we have free education in our country, and therefore a commitment made by our government. They must stick to it and allow students to register. Universities, they have their own administration. They can administer these students and make sure that when NSFAS has pumped the money to universities, they are going to take that money. Of course, it's their money that is going to be given.
Luyanda, just so we're clear, so you're asking the universities to give these students the place while they wait for that money to come in. Is that your requirement when you say that, yes, you will take this to NSFAS, but the universities must play their part as well?
Yes. Our request is that universities must have an appreciation that we are enjoying free education in our country. The fact that there are delays at NSFAS is the point that we are also going to address, but it cannot delay the academic progress of a black child. It cannot delay the fact that a person who is poor must not register in universities and colleges. We are going to talk with NSFAS. We are going to actually address and tell them that this thing of having a slow administration while students are queuing in these universities and the management that is dishonest in these universities cannot be able to accommodate them, cannot be able to give them places to sleep. Those are the issues that we are very much concerned about, but we are saying universities, they must allow students and administer them and allow them to register because we have this free education. Then therefore we're going to talk with NSFAS and address NSFAS issues, because there is also some level of incompetence at NSFAS, because they are supposed to have delivered to the student by now, because they knew that by this time universities would have started at the process of registration.
Well, Yanda, it does seem, and I think we all know it's common knowledge that NSFAS has had its own challenges over the past a couple of years, and it seems that they're still ironing those out. It is common knowledge that NSFAS has had its challenges, has not been able to provide the way it was supposed to for these students. But when is your meeting scheduled with NSFAS? Have you pinned down a date with them?
Yes, we have requested to sit with them tomorrow.
And then what will you do in the meantime? What is your call to students when it comes to shutting down universities? Yeah. Don't you think it's a bit premature then until you've had this meeting with NSFAS?
No, it's not premature. Remember, we are dealing with the very critical situation. The process of registration itself is very critical. We don't need any institution when we are requesting a meeting to tell us, no, we should have written a letter in 7 days before we sit a meeting, because we're dealing with very critical time. And this time, because these universities and NSFAS itself, they are serving students. If students, they need their attention, they must come right immediately whenever students are requesting them to meet so that they can discuss issues that are related to the registration, because that's their job. They must not tell us that we must wait for a certain time. It's not premature. We requested to meet with them because we see there is a crisis across the country and we want to solve that particular crisis, because we see that they cannot solve that crisis without us as students.
Well, Leander, you say that you're going to make universities ungovernable. What exactly do you mean by that?
We mean that we are going to close all of them. We are going to protest, of course, with our level, discipline and wisdom. We are going to protest across the country if these universities are not serving our interest. If students, the poor black students, are denied access in these universities, if they are not allowed to register, if when they are going to register are required to pay a money upfront, we are going to run them ungovernable. So we are going to close shops.
So are you talking violent protests, Leander? Are you talking peaceful protests?
Come again?
Are you talking violent protests or peaceful protests? What are you calling for when you say ungovernable?
You see, when you are talking about violent protest, I don't know what you are talking about. But what I'm sure of is that we are going to make sure that all university management, including government, they are going to feel when we are protesting. That's how I can define and explain the protest that we are going to do as South African Student Congress, is to make sure that managers of this institution, council, vice chancellors, and also the government is going to feel when we have decided to say we are closing down shops across the country, we are protesting. That's how I can define the kind of protest that we are going to do as South African Student Congress.
So we're talking about protests the likes of which we saw during Fees Must Fall, where we saw damage, we saw destruction of university property?
No, you cannot have Sasco damaging university properties, but you will have Sasco that when it is protesting, everyone is going to feel now that Sasco is protesting, Sasco is mobilizing, Sasco is uniting all students across the country under its banner for the call for registration. That is part and parcel of free education that we're enjoying in our country.
Okay, thanks very much for your time. Sasco Deputy President Luyanda Tenge there in our Durban studios.